Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements in a provincial order limiting attendance at public gatherings. This will be a virtual public hearing, and participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentations to the committee using WebEx, an online event that is being moderated by city staff. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching on YouTube. Participants who have registered in advance will be connecting either by their computer, a phone or tablet app, or by telephone. All participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. Any registered participants will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. To ensure audio clarity, I also suggest that you refrain from using the speakerphone functions on your telephones. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Alan Smithies, and I will chair this afternoon's meeting. Joining us on the panel today are Ron Hunt, Asif Khan, Paul Kidd, and Nadini Sankar Peralta. City staff are also present: Daniel Antonacci, Brendan Clapp, and Jenny Kotas. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone in attendance today who wants to receive a copy of the committee's decision on an application must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, decisions may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. The hearing procedure is as follows. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation if required. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into the committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, is given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5-minute limit. When addressing the committee, please state clearly your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters described in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee of the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. To ensure that a revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes, the committee may decide to defer the application if it is substantially revised. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application are allowed to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This marks the end of discussion on the item. The application is taken into committee for a decision. Are there any committee members here this afternoon who have a conflict of interest they'd like to declare? None? Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Secretary Treasurer, we have no files to close. Okay, thank you. We'll now proceed to the first item on our agenda, this afternoon's agenda. That is item number 14. That is 36 Addison Crescent. I have one person registered to speak on this application. That is the agent, Mr. Christopher Marchese. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much. Have you had the opportunity to see the city planning report of the 1st of September, where they appear to indicate that they have no objection, provided that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing attached to their report?
Yes, I haven't had a chance to review that staff report that was issued on September 1st and have no objection to the condition that they are
Great,
requesting.
thank you.
Approved.
It's pretty clear what you're asking for, sir, in this application. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or it would like a presentation. Mr. Khan?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, thank you.
No question.
Okay, there is no one else registered to speak on this item, so could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move that this application be approved on the basis these are minor variation in variances number 1 to 7, and the staff recommendations are the proposal be substantially developed in accordance with the site plan drawings attached with this report.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can I have someone second Mr. Khan's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously, sir. Your application has been approved with subject to city planning's conditions.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Now move on to item number 15, 128 Buckingham Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak. One of them is the agent. And I'm looking for the agent is Mr. Leo Mastrandrea. I hope I've got that correct. Are you there, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read, there's 2 reports received from staff on this, one from Transportation Services, which has no objections to your proposals, and city planning dated the 1st of September. They have no objections provided that the proposal is developed substantially in accordance with the driveway dimensions shown on the site plan attached to the report.
Yes, I have, and we're okay with the conditions.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm just going to ask, we have one person who's appearing, I guess, to comment on this application. I'll just ask, I'm looking for Mr. Lutz Fulgraf. Mr. Fulgraf, are you there?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Fulgraf has sent an email indicating he will not be present this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much. That being the case, we have no one else here to speak on this item other than the agent. The request is very straightforward in terms of the 2 requested variances. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions or comments? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Hunt?
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of this as the variances fall within the test of the Planning Act, and simply say that it should be developed in accordance with the staff report with respect to driveway dimensions.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Item number 16. We are on 31 Page Avenue. I have 4 people registered to speak. The agent is Mr. Hadari. Are you there, sir?
Mr. Chair, he was present. He's no longer in the event, so let's just give him time to rejoin.
Okay, we'll come back to this item. Move ahead to item number 17, 421 Melrose Avenue. We have 1 person registered to speak, Mr. Azadi Najaf Abadi. I hope I've gotten that right. Sir, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm here.
Yes, hello, sir. I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 15th of August, where they indicate
Yes.
that that they appear to have no objections provided the property is developed substantially in accordance with the front and east side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment. You've read that report?
Yes, I had opportunity to read it, and I have no objection with it.
Okay, thank you. With respect, you have 3 variances before us, pretty clear what you're asking for. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions or does it require, Ms. Sankar?
Just wanted to ask, there's a lot of feedback here. I can't hear myself speak, but I wanted to ask if the applicant, the representative can talk a little bit about variance number 2. Just speak a little bit about the increased lot coverage. It's quite a lot, and I'd just like to understand that a bit better.
Okay, thank you. I'll just ask, sir, did you hear Ms. Sankar's question?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I hope you can hear me better. So as you know, the coverage is a derivative of the length and the height. But here, because we are working with a short lot, that's why the percentage it looks high. But we are not proceeding. We're not asking for the length or anything else. So we are not blocking a view, or we are not building something which is negatively going to impact the neighborhood. It's within the context and texture of the neighborhood. The only reason is you see a high percentage is just because we are working with the small lot compared to the other lots, and it's a corner lot.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sankar, did you get your question answered?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? Thank you. Could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Okay, through you, Mr. Chair, seeing that, there's not much that's indicated in the staff report, and we've got no objections from the neighborhood. At this time, I'm willing to accept the corner lot explanations and the size of the property for that lot coverage. I will motion then to approve this application, and it will be subject to the recommendations of the August 15th staff report, that the property be developed substantially in accordance with the front and east side elevation drawings that were submitted to the committee. And it is, that's it. I don't think it's subject to
Yes, there are
forestry.
no other conditions. Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Sir, your application is unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll just go back
Thank
to
you.
item number 16, 31 Page Avenue. Is looking to see if the agent is here. Mr. Hadari, are you there?
Hello?
Mr. Hadari?
Hello, sir. I'm here.
Hello, sir. It's very hard to hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. The host exit me from the so I connected with my cell phone. So can you hear me now?
It's very hard to hear you, sir.
So yes, my
That's
name
better.
is Mehran Haidari. My name is Mehran Haidari.
Oh, you're fading out again.
Okay, my name is Mehran Haidari.
Can I
from
get your full
PMP
name and
Design Group.
address, please?
Mehran Haidari, 1090 Don Mills Road, Unit 506, PMP Design Group. Permit at pmpdesign.ca.
Okay, sir. It's hard to make you out. Are you speaking through speakerphone?
Yes.
Can you turn it off and speak right directly into the phone?
So, okay, actually, it's my with the application. I'm using the application. I think should be okay.
Okay,
can you
sir,
hear
that's
me
okay.
now?
Hang on just a moment. Okay. I wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the staff reports associated with your application?
Yes, I am agree with the condition. Yes.
Okay, now there's one from Transportation Services dated the 1st of September, where they indicated they had no objections, provide you put some notation on the plan indicating that all portions of existing access driveways that are no longer required must be closed and restored and all that other good stuff. City Planning is indicating that in their 1st of September report that they appear to have no objection provided the existing asphalt driveway on Sutcliffe Drive be completely restored to soft landscaping, which I think seems to duplicate what Transportation Services is saying. Have you had an opportunity to read those 2 reports?
Yes, and I agree with that, yes.
Okay, thank you. It's, we have 3 other people registered to speak, sir, on this application. So if you could give us a brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Yes, this proposal is just for the building, the new building, a new construction, the existing house.
Sir, you have to speak up. It's hard to hear you.
This is the new construction application, is a corner lot, and we are building the new proposed building with the 32% coverage, and this is the major variance that we may have based on the neighbor's request, and everything is matched with the bylaw. We have side yard setback matched with the bylaw, and front yard and the backyard, everything. And we have the height variance in the old bylaw just because we have the difference between the center line of the street grade and the established grade. So is anything, if there is any question, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, is that it, sir?
Yes, that's it, yes.
Okay, all right. I'll just ask, does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, variance number 2, it appears that the area of the balcony is 3 times that as prescribed under the bylaw. Can you explain the reason for that?
So yeah, this is exactly the porch. Top of the porch, we have the.
Sir, we're losing you. You have to speak up.
Yeah, I'm using the same. So we have the balcony at top of the porch. This is exactly the porch on the main floor, and there is the access door from the 2nd floor bedroom to that porch area. This is why we have this balcony bigger than the bylaw.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll go to the other speakers we have registered. I'm looking for a Mr. Daniel Leung. Are you there?
Yes.
Mr. Leung?
Yeah. So what we'd like to do is state that
Mr. Leung, we can't hear you.
variances are much.
Sir? We can't hear you. You have other audio devices on at the same time? You have to turn them off. And speak into your, turn off your speakerphone.
Yeah, I'm speaking it. So what we'd like to do is to say that the variances are too much for this area.
Can we get your name and address, please, sir?
Yeah, it's 29 Sutcliffe Drive.
Okay.
And name is Daniel Leung, Leung.
Okay.
And we'd like to have the houses stay within the bylaw limits. Because the coverage is already too much in our area.
Okay, is that it? Is that it? Your concern is with the coverage?
Yeah, the coverage and the size of the balcony, and I think it's 31% over coverage.
Okay.
So it's 31.97%, and it's supposed to be 30%.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll move to the next speaker. I'm looking for Ms. Patricia Banks. Are you there, madam?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Banks does not appear to be present.
Okay, thanks. She's off the list. Next person is Kathy Archibald. Are you there?
I am.
Yes, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Kathy Archibald, 29 Page Avenue.
Okay, thank you. Can you give us what your comments on this application?
Our main criticism is they were planning on building the house closer to our house. And we request that it be no closer than the current build is.
Madam, he's, just to be clear, he's building, his building location vis-à-vis with respect to your property line is in compliance with the existing bylaw. The only variances he's applying for are lot coverage, one for a second floor balcony, parking space, and the building height, but there are no variances requested for the setback from the property line. So he's in compliance with the bylaw.
Okay, could I make a request about prevention of any stormwater runoff? Because we had a new build on the other side of us at 27, and we ended up getting flooded whenever it rained because of the way they built it.
Okay, Madam, the committee doesn't deal with drainage issues. What happens is when if this application is approved, when he applies for a building permit, he has to supply the city with a lot grading plan that shows that his stormwater can be managed on his own property.
And would we see this to confirm that he got that?
Pardon me?
Would we, how would we know that he's confirmed it?
You can check with the city building department.
Okay. Okay. And also, in order to receive the decision, could you repeat how I'm supposed to notify you of that?
To notify who? If you've written into the committee you can request a copy of the committee's decision, and it will be mailed out to you after the committee makes the decision. Then you have the opportunity to appeal the application to the Toronto Local Appeal Body if you'd like to do that.
Okay, because when I sent in an email to you to attend this webinar or whatever, they said they never received it. I had to make a phone call, so I don't even know if my requests are being received properly.
Well, like I said, we have your correspondence here. So in terms of, like I said, if you request a notice of the decision, you will get that through email or through the mail, and then you can take whatever action after that point if you'd like to appeal it to TLAB.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go back to the applicant. Sir, are you there? Mr. Hadari? Mr. Hadari, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Yes, you've heard the comments from the previous speakers. If you'd like to comment on them.
Yes, and thank you for your
We've lost you, sir. You got to speak up.
Yes, thank you so much, because you answered clearly. So we don't have the side setback variances, and what we have improvement, the existing building length is 70 foot, and right now we are just less than 50 foot. So we are improving the negative impact for the neighbors, and we are sitting on the right on the setbacks of the building as well. And for sure, in the building department, we're gonna have the grading permit and is matched with the runoff on the stormwater, and the neighbors shouldn't be worried about the stormwater coming to their house. So, and if any other question is, I can answer.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Can I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan? Mr. Khan, I can't hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move this application be approved with conditions. Parking driveway from the front street is okayed by the transportation services. The staff has recommended that the existing asphalt driveway on Sutcliffe Drive be completely restored to the soft landscape and full concrete curb to the satisfaction of transportation services and also comply with the forestry conditions.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Hunt dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved subject to urban forestry, transportation services, and city planning conditions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now on item number 18, 274 Dunview Avenue. I have two people registered to speak. The agent is Nicole Parr. Are you there, sir?
Ma'am.
Oh,
yes,
madam,
I am.
I'm sorry. Can I get your
That's
full name
okay.
and
It
address,
happens
madam?
all the time.
Thank you.
I'm here, yes.
Can I get your full name and address?
My name is Nicole Parr, the address is 274 Dunview Avenue.
Okay, thank you, madam. Have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 18th of August? They appear to have no objection, provided the proposal is developed substantially in accordance with the side west, side east, and rear north elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment as attachments 1, 2, and 3. Have you had the opportunity to read that report and the condition?
I have indeed, yes, and everything sounds completely fine.
Okay, thank you, madam. If you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Basically, in terms of at least those conditions, it's for windows in the bedrooms. I think it's pretty modest to have a home of 4 bedrooms. And I think that we're still in character of the neighborhood with our setbacks of 1.35 meters for a frontage of 13.72 meters. We're in character of the North York area of having under 32% lot coverage. And I think we're abiding by the 10-meter height for one of the bylaws. It's just a little bit over for the other of 9.6 meters. So, I think it's still in the character of those kind of typical North York houses that are popping up in the area.
Okay, thank you, madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll move to the next person on our speakers list. And Anissa C, are you there, madam?
Anissa? Yes.
Yes, thank you, madam. Can I get
Hi.
your full name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Anissa C, and address is 275 Forest
Okay.
Avenue.
Okay, thank you, madam. If you want to give us your comments on this application, please proceed.
Yeah, because my house the new house going to build is directly right on my backyard. So I'm just propose I don't like the idea that the balcony window, everything is higher than the permit because they can, to me, it's overwhelming my privacy because my bedroom and family bedroom is right facing my backyard.
Okay, thank you, madam.
And one more thing, and because right now we have hatches between the two house backyard, and I noticed that they're going to remove the shed, and I just find out they can create a walkway. People can walk through my backyard to that backyard. So I just want to ensure that at least what are they going to do with those hatches? Are they going to remove it or just leave it? I prefer they leave it for privacy reason too. Because right now the tree are tall.
Okay, madam, what I'll do is I will ask the applicant when she comes back to answer your questions. How's that?
Good, thanks.
Mr. Khan, you have a question?
Sir, I have a question from Miss C.
Pardon me?
The lady who
Okay,
just
well,
spoke.
thank you, Mr. Connell. I'll go back to the agent just a moment. If there are no questions of the previous speaker.
Mr. Chair, I think Mr. Khan was asking for the last applicant to speak.
Ms. Parr?
No.
Oh,
Let's see.
okay. I didn't think she was finished. I thought she was finished. Ms. C, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done. I just basically, the privacy for me is kind of like, I feel very important to me. And I think that the way, I just want to make sure what they're doing.
Okay, I'll ask Ms. Parr about that and she can answer your questions.
Okay.
Any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question to Ms. C is, Madam, you are saying that you have a privacy concern. The proposed construction is higher and will be looking into your house, which is opposite. How much is the distance between their house and yours?
Well, mine is a bungalow. It's not opposite, right? I'm just right direct on the backyard is back to my backyard, right? So the window right now is a bungalow. So with the tree, if they don't knock it down a bungalow to a bungalow, the tree in between the backyard has no impact. I don't see them, they don't see me. But if the upper second floor, the window or the height are higher, and if they remove all the hedges, they can directly see through my house, right? I understand everyone was saying North York building a monster house and same as the area, but that's not the case, right?
Okay, thank you.
But Madam, I don't want to interfere. I mean, your concern is a concern. I can hear it, but at least you have a curtain or you have windows to protect your privacy. And in my guess, I think there is quite a bit of distance between your
Okay,
windows.
I can tell you that, right? Yes, my mom also live in a monster house. Next door is also a monster house. Still, you have a window and blind and everything. It still can overlook, right? So I'm not going to argue with you unless you live in my house, right? You then how you feel. I'm just expressing my concern. I have my blinds or whatever is not your concern either, right?
Okay.
Like if I have my blinds open and are you telling me that to have my blinds all shut down day and night, right?
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Any further questions of the speaker?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to Ms. Parr. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you've heard the questions from the previous speaker. I guess it's more an issue of overlook, and I guess she was asking about the issue of the hedge you have in the rear yard, whether that's going to be cut down.
We didn't have any intention to cut it down or to keep it. I do see that tree there as well. It's 0.35. The way that it looks on the survey, it looks like I didn't catch her name, so I do apologize. But it does look like it's actually the neighbor's tree, so I don't even see an opportunity for us to cut it. So the tree would stay. If it's a deal breaker, we could keep the hedge. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
I don't want to have any upset neighbors as well. I don't think my clients would have a big problem with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I do believe that this meets the 4 tests, and by virtue of the applicant saying here in this forum that they will keep the hedge and sort of do some things to respect the privacy, I'm good with that, and that's sort of recorded here. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application, and I'm going to make it subject to the staff recommendation of the August 18th report that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the side west and side east and rear north elevation drawings submitted to the committee.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Madam, your application's been unanimously approved. Oh,
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Khan?
Sir, I would like to add to Ms. Shanker's motion, also attached as 1, 2, and 3.
Hang on, we've, Mr. Khan, we've already voted on the motion. We've already voted on you had your hand up in favor of Ms. Sankar's motion.
No, I was raising hand to speak, to add to this, her
No,
motion
it's too late now, Mr. Khan. The motion has been adopted. If you want to dissent to it, you can do that.
Mr. Chair, we voted on the motion. Mr. Hunt seconded. There was no friendly amendments. On to the next application, please.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 19, 115 Golding Avenue. I have one person registered to speak, a Wai Zhao Zhu. Are you there? I hope I've pronounced that correctly.
Mr. Chair, at this time, it does not appear that the applicant is present.
Okay, well, go to the next one. Go to 182 Lord Seaton Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is the agent Zhen Mengdi. Are you there? Zheng Mengdi, are you there? Oh. Two down. We'll go to the item number 21, which is 28 Vanley Crescent. I have the one person registered to speak. That's the agent Thomas Gluck. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you, sir. Just wanted to ask if you've had the opportunity to look at the city planning report and the transportation services report. The Transportation Services Report of the 31st of August has no objection to your proposal. The City Planning Report of the 2nd of September is very adamant about recommending refusal on this application. Have you had the opportunity to discuss this application with City Planning?
No, we have not had the opportunity. I have, however, discussed it with our clients, and we would like to ask for a deferral at this time, so that we can address these objections and we can modify our application and speak to planning.
Sir, I don't know if you've had the opportunity, if you've read that report, they're very adamant about what you're proposing here, especially with the parking structures, landscaping issues like this. We can deal with your application if you want to, but my suggestion is you may want to defer your application and consult with planning.
Mr. Chairman, that's precisely what I'm asking for.
Okay, so you're going to ask for a deferral?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. We have no one else registered to speak on this item, and the applicant's requesting a deferral. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Okay, can I get a motion on the deferral, please? Mr. Hunt?
Mr. Chairman, based on the request of the applicant, I would move that this application be deferred sine die for the opportunity for them to discuss issues with the planning department.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hunt. Someone to second that? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Sir, your application's been deferred sine die so that you can have the opportunity to discuss your application with city planning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'll do it. Go back to item number 20, 182 Lord Seaton. Is the agent there, Zhen Mengdi?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, sir. I note that you're the only person registered to speak on this item. You have two variances before us. Very clear what you're asking for. There are no, other than a recommended condition from Forestry. There are no other city departments that have commented on your application, so I'm just going to ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are only two variances and which are minor in nature and meets the intent of the zoning bylaws. And it should be conditionally approved to condition being the forest condition to be complied with.
Okay, someone to second Mr. Khan's motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to item number 19. Is the agent there, Wei Zhao Zhu?
Mr. Chair, a Ken Tai has advised us that he's going to speak as the agent.
Okay, thank you. Sir, can I get your name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Ken Tai. I'm represent 115 Golden Avenue.
Okay, thank you very
as an
much.
agent.
I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to see the two reports from Transportation Services and City Planning? The one from Transportation Service is dated the 2nd of September. They have no objections, provided you put a notation on the site plan detailing closing of existing driveways and restoring with landscaping. The other one from City Planning is dated the 17th of August. They appear to have no objection, provided that your proposal is developed substantially in accordance with the north elevation, front and south elevation rear drawing submitted to the Committee of Adjustment. Have you seen those two reports, sir?
Yep.
Okay, it's very clear what you're asking for in the application. I'll just ask the committee, does the committee have any questions or comments, or does it require a presentation? Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion on the application, please? Mr. Kidd?
This application seems to be of a minor nature and appropriate. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application subject to city staff condition that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the north elevation and south elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, attached as attachments 1 and 2 to this report. And also the forestry condition. And then there's a transportation services condition as well, that a notation is to be added to the site plan, stating that all portions of existing site access driveways that are no longer required must be closed and restored with soft landscaping, curbs to the satisfaction of the transportation services.
Great, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Kidd's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry, transportation services, and city planning conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now on item number 22, which is 50 Teddington Park. I have one person registered to speak, Mr. El Barani, the agent. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, we've been advised that Mr. Bronskill will be acting as agent with respect to this application.
Okay, thank you. Hello, sir. Can I get your name and address, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm just testing that you can hear me okay on my device.
And can I get your name and address?
Yes, first name is David, last name is Bronskill, Bronskill, at Goodman's LLP, which is 333 Bay Street, Suite 3400 in Toronto.
Okay, thank you, sir. I wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 1st of September?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have. Thank you.
And there was, in their city planning's report, there is a indication that you had agreed with city planning to reduce variance number 1 from the building length from 20.87 to 20.77. Are you proposing to do that, sir?
Yes, sir, I would propose to do that, subject to the committee's acceptance. That variance would be reduced so that the length and depth variances are both the same at 20.77.
Okay, let me just take a look. So can you just go through your list of variances and tell us which variances are being changed?
Yes, sir, it would only be variance 1.
Okay.
Right now, it would read the proposed building length is 20.87 meters.
Yep.
That variance would be revised to read the proposed building length is 20.77 meters. Otherwise, the variances remain the same, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. And there was another recommended condition from Transportation Service, if the committee choose to approve the application, was that that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing attached to this report, and the above-grade floor area of the proposed rear ancillary building be limited to 60 square meters.
And those conditions, Mr. Chair, are acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're the only person I have registered to speak on this item. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or it would like a presentation. No. So if I could get a motion on this application, please. Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, my view, the requested variances are minor and appropriate. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application, subject to conditions from the city staff report. The first one to reduce, the proposal to be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing attached to this report, and the above grade floor area of the proposed rear ancillary building to be limited to 60 square meters. Also, the first variance to be revised to read the proposed building length is to be 20.77 meters, and that's reduced from the stated variance 20.87. So it's revised to 20.77 meters.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second Mr. Kidd's motion?
Before it is seconded, also there is a forestry conditions.
Okay. Yes. Oh, yes, there's urban forestry as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Someone to second. Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Ms. Sankar dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved subject to urban forestry, and your revised application has been approved subject to urban forestry and city planning conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 23, 210 Spring Garden Avenue. I have one person registered to speak on this item. Mr. Tana?
Hello, Mr. Chair.
Can I get your full name
present.
and address, please?
Yeah, it's Ali Tana. My address is 59 Record Crescent, Toronto, Ontario, M4G2T2. I have Mr. William Ross with me here today as my speaker.
Okay, thank you. Sir, have you had the opportunity to review the city planning report? Sir, you have to.
Yes, we have.
Sir, you have to turn off your other devices that are turned on. You're creating an echo.
How's that? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Okay, sir, have you had the? Sir, you have to you have one or more devices on, sir, that are creating an echo. One of them should only be speaking into one device. Turn everything else off.
Give me 1 second. I might know what is causing this. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That's better. There's
Okay.
there's no more reverberation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sir, I wanted to
sorry for
ask,
the disturbance.
have you seen,
Yes, we've read that. Yes, we have no objection to it.
yeah, that's the one that indicates that that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and east elevation drawings.
Yes.
But you've read that full report.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment here. Very clear what you're asking for, sir. I'm just going to ask the committee if it has any questions or would like a presentation. Being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move this application be approved with conditions as well as the recommendation from the staff. The proposal be developed in accordance with this site plan and east elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, attachment 1 and 2 to this report, and also the forestry conditions.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry and city planning conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 24, 25 Parkley Drive. I have one person registered to speak. That is a Mike De Oliveira. Are you there, sir?
Hi, yes, my name is Mike De Oliveira. I'm
Okay.
here representing 25 Parkley.
Okay, thank you, sir.
911 Davenport Road. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I noticed that we have no other speakers with this item. There are no, other than urban forestry, there are no other staff comments or conditions. What you're asking for, sir, is very clear. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or would like a presentation. Okay, there being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that the variances all meet the four tests, and there being no concerns expressed other than the general urban forestry memo of September 2nd, I'd move acceptance.
Someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion. Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Item number 25, 15 Chesham Drive. I have one person registered to speak, a Mr. Quattrocchio. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I have, actually, there are no staff comments or conditions on this application. What you're asking for is very clear in the three variances we have before us. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. Ms. Sankar?
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, just a quick question to the applicant. I see variance number 3, the proposed west side setback is quite reduced. I'd like to hear a bit of commentary on that to see if this is sort of normal for the neighborhood or if it's existing. And just around the front yard landscaping, it's down quite a bit. What's the proposal there?
On the first item, in regards to the front landscaping, the objective there would be to beautify the area and plant the trees and plants in there in that respect. And then on the third item, in regards to the side yard setback, yeah, in the area, it is a normal thing that they've been putting those areas in type thing, like with the setback on the side. And my next door neighbor also has it too.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? No further questions of the speaker. Could I get a motion on this? Oh, Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask the applicant or the agent here, I couldn't catch his name. I was I will point out sheet A1 also says that it is not a minor variation because 60% is not met. He's proposing 46.19 landscape, which is less. So it is quite a bit of a difference. It is not minor in nature. This variance number 1.
Sir, did you hear the
Also,
question?
sheet A1 indicates that one too, that it minimum should be 60%, but he's presenting 46.19.
Okay, sir, did you get the question?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
I guess Mr. Khan has an issue with the two variances dealing with front yard landscaping and front yard soft landscape. What's your justification for those variances?
Well, with the first one, it would be that the difference in the percentage will be like upgraded basically, so that instead of just having the softscape that we were planning on planting trees and plants in the area there.
Sir, you didn't get my question.
Okay.
I will repeat my question. In variance number 1, you are saying 60% and you are proposing 46.19%. And then you are giving the bylaw number 10.5.50.10.1C. But if you look your sheet of submission A1, it also indicates there that the 60% landscape is required. So you are contradicting, I mean, that 60% requirement, and you are much less, 46.19. How come it be? And in 2, you are saying 75% meets 71.32%. And then you are giving the bylaw number 10.5.50.10.1A.C.D. So I bring to your kind attention towards variance number 1. The sheet A1 is also asking you or telling you you have 60% landscape, front yard landscape, but you are proposing 46.19. It's quite deficient.
Did you get the question, sir?
Honestly, no, I don't. Okay, so it's basically that they're asking a minimum of 60, but I'm only proposing 46%.
I will ask the staff to kindly bring their notes on sheet A1.
Can we have that, Ms. Kodas, can we have sheet A1 up there, please?
Yeah, you will.
Which one are we referring to, Mr. Khan?
Okay, sir, you will read here somewhere in these lines. Somewhere here in the bottom, yeah, somewhere here you will read. It is saying 60%. Yeah, in these notes. 60% in these 2 notes somewhere. Yes. Yeah, in these notes somewhere you will read.
Are you referring to the line that says bylaw requires 60% of front yard area for landscaping?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so what?
But he's providing 46.19.
Oh, is that the agent, is that an error on your drawing?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes. I believe so.
I'm sorry, Mr. Antonacci? Can you just explain why your landscaping is so low, sir?
No, not at this time.
Can you explain why your landscaping is so low? Oh, you can't.
No, not at this time, no.
So did you prepare these drawings yourself or did somebody else do them?
No, I had somebody else do them.
Okay, because it sounds like, according to Mr. Khan, there's an error in your application.
Mr. Chair, the application went through the building department. They reviewed the, and
Okay.
came up with the variances. So we're going with the variances that the building department
Fair
came
enough.
up with.
Yep, okay. So we'll deal with any further questions of the speaker. Could I get a motion on the application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, from the applicant's explanation, because that was the first question I asked, I think what he had indicated to me is that they are planning to put trees and shrubs, which may be very different from the actual landscaping that's there right now, which justifies a decrease of some sort. But I'm satisfied with number 2 being just a minor variance, and as well as the explanation for number 3. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application, and it will be subject to forestry, as well as subject to,
There are no staff conditions.
yeah, no other staff conditions, right?
Okay,
Thank you.
someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your application's been approved without condition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Item number 26, 123 Rochester Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is Mr. Manios, is the agent. Are you there, sir?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, before we start, sir, there's one other person registered to speak, which is a representative from a ratepayers organization. I just want to see if they're there.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Fulgraf indicated previously that he would not be present today.
Okay, thank you. Sir, I just wanted to ask, Mr. Manios, could I get your full name and address, please?
Yeah, sure. It's Mayor Manias, number 1 Teakwood Grove, Toronto, M3B 2H9, and I'm the agent.
Okay, sir, I just wanted to ask if you've had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 1st of September, where they appear to indicate they have no objection provided that the building length is developed substantially in accordance with the ground and second floor lengths shown in the drawing submitted with the report. Have you read that report?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's very clear what you're asking for, sir. I'm just going to ask the committee if it has any questions or it would like a presentation. There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application. I do believe it's, it meets the 4 tests according to my review, and I am going to make it subject to forestry as well as the staff conditions of September 1st, that the building length be developed substantially in accordance with the ground floor and second floor lengths as shown on the floor plan drawings that were attached to the report.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry and city planning conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Item number 27, 11 Wyndham Drive. I have 1 person registered to speak. That is a Saba Al Mathno. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. Sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
Can I get your full name and address, please?
Sure. Sabal Metno, 1670 Bayview Avenue, Suite 401.
Okay, thank you, madam. You have 2 variances before us. I note that we have no staff comments or conditions suggested for this application. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. There being none, could I get a motion on this application? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move approval of this as the 2 variances are minor in nature. There were 10 letters of support and there were no objections from any staff departments.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Madam, your application's been unanimously approved without condition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Item
Take
number
care.
28, 104 Plateau Crescent. I have three people registered to speak. One is the agent, a Shervin Babudi. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, do you have me?
Yes, hello, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
My name is Shervin Farzan Behudi, and I'm number 22 Alsor Road in Vaughan. I'm a designer and the representative of the owner for the 104 Plateau.
Okay, thank you, madam. I wanted to ask, have you seen the city planning report of the 1st of September? Because they're
Yes, sir.
indicating, pardon me, they have no objection to the application, provided you eliminate the third story, which is variance number 4. Are you prepared to do
Yes,
that?
correct. Yes, sir.
So are you proposing to eliminate, which is variance number 4?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you're proposing to eliminate, you're now proposing to revise your application to delete variance number 4, which is the proposed number of stories is 3.
Yeah, we're gonna propose for the permit just a 2-story.
Okay, so you're just going with 2 stories. So you're proposing to eliminate variance number 4.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. What I suggest you do is we have 2 other speakers registered on this application. If you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see are the merits of your revised application.
Okay, we're gonna apply for the house for the 28.94% coverage in the area of the 25%. Our neighbors, they usually approve for the less than 29%, which is we gonna
Madam,
match
could you
with
speak
them.
up a bit?
Yeah, sure. All right, is it better?
That's better.
Okay. Do you want to speak? I represent it from the beginning, or just continue?
Do you have anything else
Hello?
to add? Anything else to add, madam?
Yep. Okay. 25% is the area coverage, but we are applying for 28.94%. But our neighborhood approved for the less than 29%. So I think we're gonna be comparable with our neighborhoods. The only thing is gonna be different than our neighbor is our setback, front setback. We're proposing a 9.21. Sorry, we're proposing 8.62, which is we have to point 9.21. If we don't do that, we're gonna come with another variance, which is a backyard setback. It's gonna be very short, so we have to choose between one of those. And we want a little bit wider on the church case. It's approved for the 2 meters, but we're proposing 3 meters.
Okay, thank you, madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Okay, thank you. Move to the first person on our speakers list, Mr. Ryan Chong. Are you there? Mr. Chong? Mr. Chong is not there. We will go on to the next speaker, Mr. Long Peng. Are you there? Mr. Long Peng? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I'm not going to speak as long as they change to 2 stories. I'm fine.
Hang on, just a moment, sir. We're having trouble hearing you, so sir, you'll have to speak up. And secondly, if you're using a speakerphone, turn it off. And if I
sorry,
can
is it
please
better?
get your name and address, please.
Okay, my name is Long Pen, 115 Plateau Crescent. I actually didn't register for speak.
Okay, so if you want to give us,
I have no opinion as long as they change the stories. Three stories to 2 stories. I'm fine.
okay, I think I got the gist of your question. He's removed the variance with respect for the 3-story building. He's only going with a two-story building which complies with the bylaw.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm fine with, as long as they do that, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you.
With other variants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go back to Mr. Baboudi. Sir, did you hear the, I guess you heard the comments from the previous speaker. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to comment on.
Address that item.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, Mr. Ryan Chong, are you there? Mr. Chong, are you there? There's no answer. Okay, thank you. That's no further speakers registered on this item. Could I get a, and there's no other comments to respond back from the agent, so if I could get a motion on this application? Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I did note that Mr. Chong's comments of objection came in the form of a letter, and it had to do with the three-story as well. In fact, all of the letters of objections were around variance number 4. So with that in mind, and with the correction or the modifications made by the agent today, I will put forward a motion to approve this application subject to the changes that will address the September 1st staff report, and that is that variance number 4 is removed. And with that, it will also be subject to forestry.
Thank you. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Mr. Hunt, yeah, that motion carries. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're on item number 29, 220 Dunforest Avenue. I have one speaker, and that is the agent. Mr. Barmy, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barmy, I wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 17th of August? They appear to have no
Yes, sir.
objection to your application, provided that to a condition that you develop substantially in accordance with the drawings.
That's correct.
Okay, you've read that report?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. It's pretty clear what you're asking for, the variances we have before us. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions or comments, or would it like a presentation? Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Taking the recommendation from the staff, I would like to move that this development be substantially in accordance with the front and rear elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attached as attachment number 1 and 2 to this report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Item number 30, 3 Diagonal Road. I have 3 people registered to speak, and that includes the agent, Mr. Fathi Kamari. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir. Could I get your full name and address, please?
My name is Bahram Fathi Kamari, and my address is 128 Betty Ann Drive, Toronto.
Okay, thank you, sir. I wanted to ask, we received a letter from Councillor Filion on the 10th of September, and it's, which is today, which recommends the use of privacy screening on the west face of the proposed deck to ensure privacy for the neighbors. Were you proposing to put any privacy screening on the deck?
You are totally okay with the fencing on the deck as it was mentioned on Mr. Fillion's request.
Sir, can you
So we're
speak
gonna
up?
do that for sure. Yeah, I'm saying we have read Mr. Fillion, the councillor's report, so we are okay with putting the privacy fencing on the deck.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have two other speakers registered on this application, so if you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see are the merits of your proposal.
Yes, before I start, I wanted to say I totally understand the concern of neighbors regarding the variance number 3, which is a relief for almost 2 meters additional height of the building under the old zoning bylaw. If I were in neighbors' shoes, I would definitely have exactly the same concern. But I should say that when a revised set of drawings submitted to examiner for zoning review in June, the examiner made an error when he was typing a revised zoning notice. And as a result, we have a scary number of 10.81 meters in front of us on notice of hearing. I had a chance to speak to zoning examiner on last Tuesday. He confirmed this error from his side. Now I'm asking the committee to reduce requested overall height from 10.81 meters to 9.31 meters on variance 3, and I hope reduction of 1.5 meters from the requested height is to satisfactory of all respected neighbors and committee members. These 51 centimeters of additional height request under the old zoning is a technical matter due to substantial difference between elevation of established grade and center line of the road. In fact, this house is a typical new two-story house that we can see almost everywhere in this neighborhood. We do not have any height-related variance under the zoning bylaw, under the new zoning bylaw, which is a good proof of technicality of this variance. We are also asking a relief of 51 centimeters for finished first floor height under the old zoning bylaw due to the same technical reason that just was explained. Again, we do not have any variance for finished first floor height under new zoning bylaw. So regarding variance number 1 and 2, I would like to explain the owner by profession is a trade and has lots of electrical tools which require moisture and temperature controlled storage. In addition, the owners of this house have a big family, including 4 children and 2 in-laws. They need a little more room in the house and on the deck to fit family of 8 and large storage inside the house for professional tools. These are reasons why we are asking 55 centimeters in addition to permitted production of the deck, as well as 1.8% additional coverage. It is also notable that on our proposed drawings, we have not used the maximum permitted length nor width of the proposed house, considering side yard setbacks. I personally believe all these 4 variances are minor and general intent of the zoning and official plan are maintained. So I'm asking respected committee members to approve this application.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like the applicant to just go over again variance number 1 and the reason that the proposed height is 2.28 meters above grade rather than the stipulated 1.2.
No, there is no, actually, we have to gain the access from the deck, right? So when you're on the main floor, you're coming down from the main floor 1 step down to gain access to the deck. So if the height of elevation of the main floor is higher, then you definitely have the same elevation or 1 step lower than the main floor elevation for the deck. So what we are asking right now, I read the opposition letter of 5 Diagonal Road. I think they misunderstood the variance because they think that we are planning to build the deck 55 centimeters taller or higher. But it is projection of the deck, which is proposed for 55 centimeters longer. So it is approaching more into the backyard.
And you're saying that the backyard is sloped so that...
No, I did not say the backyard is sloped. I said the elevation of the deck 1 step lower than the main floor. This is not our plan, by the way. The elevation that you have on the screen, it's not the elevation of this house.
Well, now I'm confused because that's the elevation that was submitted with the application.
No, I have the elevation here in front of myself, and I already checked that in the city website. You have exactly the same thing that I have on my screen. The back elevation that you just showed on the screen, that is not belong to this house. You probably got that from another file. Can I ask the committee to show the back elevation for this? Actually, on this cross section, you exactly see the elevation of the deck, right? The top of the deck is lower than the portion of the main floor. The main floor is shown on the left side. You are gaining access from the main floor to the deck.
Okay, I see that now. Thank you.
No problem.
Is the, okay. Next person registered on our list is a Lori Manawim. Are you there? Madam, can I get your full name and address, please? Madam,
Next
can I
door
get
to
your full
number
name
3
and address,
Diagonal
please?
Road. 5 Diagonal Road.
Okay, thank you. Can you give us your comments on this application, please?
Yes, this application is, sorry, I'm just going to read it to you. Well, I'm going to ask a question. Was this plan considered in terms of the town planning for this lot? And I'll ask you to look at the survey. Number 1 diagonal is an irregular, elongated east-west property. Number 3 diagonal road is a north-south property with a long rectangular plot. Number 5 is created almost as a pie-shaped property and is an east-west property too. With these various shapes created by the city planning department, the dwelling has aligned this house with number 1 without consideration for its alignment to number 5, which is me. The house that is being built is the entire length of my back wall, my side fence. I will have no view. I will have only a brick wall the entire side of my house. On top of that, the 10-meter high wall is even worse. Even if he brings it down to 9.1, which is what you have said, he's going 9.13. He talks about the elevation in the front of the house. The elevation in front of his existing house is an artificial elevation which he's taken from the street. If everything in the basement and the first floor are dropped as well, instead of having a 9-foot high basement, having a lower basement, etc., the house can be dropped by another meter to meet the bylaw requirement. The deck is so large, it doesn't affect me. I know I'm talking for my neighbor who is ill and she's old and she cannot go to the hearing. The deck gives her no privacy. She has a 2-story house, exactly the same thing, and it looks into everything. I can't complain about the privacy because I have none, because there's this entire wall in front of my house. And it is going to downgrade the value of my property because I will not be able, I am also a master gardener. I've received prizes for my garden, and everything is going to die because of this house.
Okay,
Thank
Madam, any further comments? Okay, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, our next speaker is Leo Cahalan. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Cahalan does not appear to be present.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to Mr. Fathi Kamari. Sir, are you there?
I'm here.
Did you heard the comments from Lori Manuim from 5 Diagonal Road? Would you like to respond to
Yes,
them?
I heard everything. I just want to add that if you look at the proposed drawings, we are not asking for any additional length of the building. And in fact, we are shorter than what is permitted. If her lot is smaller than usual or the shape of the lot is not regular, that is not the problem of other properties, right? Also, I heard from the other neighbors and I read in her opposition letter that she has a nice garden in the side. So when I was talking to the owner of the 3 Diagonal Road, so they said, let me read it for you. With respect to with concern of the garden at 5 Diagonal Road, the neighbors can have the owner's promise to increase the setback on the west side for 40 centimeters by shifting the whole house toward the east. We are able to do so as we have not used maximum permitted side yard setback on the east side. This will help to reduce the effect of shade on said garden.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? Could I get a motion on this application, please? Please note that we have no staff comments or conditions on this application. Ms. Sankar?
Mr. Chair, can you just tell me again what the reduction was to number 3?
3 initially was indicated on the notice of hearing 10.81. The correct number is 9.31 as exactly shown on the front elevation of the house, 9.31.
Okay. So with that, Mr. Chair, and hearing, all sides, I mean, with respect to this change, I do believe it meets the 4 tests in my review. I will put forward a motion to approve this application, and what I'm going to do is ensure that it will be contingent on variance number 3 being changed from 10.81 meters to 9.31 meters. And just double checking if it's subject to forestry.
No, there's no
And
staff.
just also around the privacy screening, as per the councillor's report, on the west face side of the proposed deck to ensure privacy for the neighbors. And that's
Okay.
my motion.
Thank you. Can I get someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved. Your revised application has been approved with a change to variance number 3 and with a condition that you install privacy screening on the west face of the proposed deck to ensure privacy for the neighbors. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks.
We are now on 1170 Wilson Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is Zaid Al-Mubarak.
Hi.
Yes, are you there, sir?
Yes.
Can I get your full name and address, please?
Full name Zaid Al-Mubarak, address 2395 Cowther Road, Unit 202, Mississauga, Ontario.
Okay, sir. Before you start, we had deferred this application a while back so that you could meet with Transportation Services. They had requested showing where your
Yes.
parking spaces were supposed to be. We now
Yes.
have a subsequent report from them dated the 2nd September, which recommends your
Yes.
application be deferred because they say there's missing variances and you need to provide more information on the site drawings. Did you meet with them?
Yeah, I called them and I sent them the revised site plan and they posted online.
They which?
They posted online for the Committee of Adjustment.
Okay, because they're indicating here they want your application deferred again.
Yeah,
Have you
I
had an
received it-
opportunity to read that report?
Yes.
Okay, and
And
how
I
do you
pro-
respond to
and
it?
I provide a revised site plan with all the
Sir, we can't
requirements
hear you.
and
You have to speak up.
So I provide a revised site plan with all the requirement. And they told me they posted online for the Committee of Adjustment.
What you posted, sir, shows parking spaces. They're not dimensioned. And they also, did you get them reviewed by the zoning department?
No, not yet.
No, you didn't, because it appears they need variances. You don't meet the parking stall or the aisle widths.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to proceed or do you want to defer again? Because you have to go back and discuss this, again, discuss it in person with Transportation Services and with the zoning department.
Okay. I ask for a deferral.
Okay, so you're asking for a deferral.
Yes.
Can I get a motion on a deferral, Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the request of the applicant, I would move that this application be deferred sine die to accommodate him discussing with transportation additional material that is to be provided and reviewed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt, can I get
Have a good
someone to sir, just a moment. Mr. Hunt, can I get someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Sir, your application's been deferred sine die so that you can meet with Transportation Services and also with the city building so that you can revise your application and identify any additional variances.
Okay, thank you.
But I strongly suggest that you meet in person with someone from Transportation Services.
Yes.
Okay,
Will
thank
do.
you.
Have a good one.
Final application, we have 14-60 Overlea Boulevard. And I have only one person registered to speak. That's a Michael Bissett.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Bissett, you're there. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Michael Bissett, Bissett, 3 Church Street, Toronto, with Bousfields.
Okay, now I just wanted to ask, sir, we have a report from Transportation Services which recommends deferring the application. They want some changes to your site plan in order to provide 2 parallel parking spaces near the site entrance, to provide an additional accessible parking space, and to provide electrical vehicle charging stations. Now, I wanted to ask, what we have before us now appears to show that you've provided that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And indeed, there's actually a subsequent memo. There's 2 memos from Transportation. One is dated August 7th. One is dated August 17th. I don't know why, but online it's dated as September 3rd as being on your system. But if you look at the latter, or like the most recently dated memo, Transportation Services has one condition, which is the electrical vehicle station.
Okay, now
charging station, which we are providing.
Just a moment, sir, because hang on just a second. The Transportation Services report, I'm just going to go to that because I don't. The most recent one we have is, just a moment.
August 7th.
This is the 7th of August.
Well, there's one online dated August 17th.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure why, but yes, you're right, though. The plans have been changed and to address that, and there is a subsequent memo online, which I'm not sure why it's not in your
Okay, well, what I
package,
suggest you
but,
do, sir, is that you give us a presentation on what you're proposing and then go through what changes you've made.
Sure. The original presentation, the application is for parking between the street and in front of the building, and the requirement is for only allowing for 14 spaces, and we've got 19, so we've got 5 additional parking spaces. Planning has no issues, and Forestry and Transportation did have issues because there was another access. We had actually proposed a second curb cut with a new access point, which had resulted in some initial commentary from Transportation and from Forestry. And we also had some parallel parking spaces on the east side of the the property along the eastern boundary, which we've been now removed. And so now that we've removed that second curb cut, we've eliminated 2 variances, which also removed Forestry's comments because we would have had to remove a tree, and also dealt with some of the transportation services comments. So now the site plan that's there with only 1 curb cut is now acceptable to transportation and to forestry. There's no longer any forestry conditions, and I'm not sure why we don't have the August 17th memo from transportation services, but it does now only include 1 condition, which is the provision of an electrical vehicle charging station, roughed in conduits in accordance with the city's green standards, which we do show that on the site plan. So the project now is completely in line with what staff is looking for.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it. I think you got it there.
okay, hang on a second.
Sorry, I was just.
Okay, that one we don't have. I'm sorry, sir, can I just interrupt for a moment? We have up on the screen, we have the comment from August 17th from Transportation Services. And it's indicating they're still recommending deferral, but they wanted conditions and revisions to be met, providing for electric vehicle charging stations, roughed-in conduits, in accordance with the city's green standards.
The one I'm looking at on your screen, it does not recommend deferral. It has no objection and then recommends a condition. Yes.
Conclusion.
We're fine with that condition because we're doing it, so that's totally fine.
If that was made a condition, do you have an objection to it?
Nope, no, I do not have an objection.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to ask the committee, does it have any questions or comments, or what it or any questions of the speaker? Mr. Hunt?
Well, if you look at that August 17th memo, the conclusion is that they're still requesting deferral.
They were still requesting deferral.
We can get that back up on the screen.
Just a moment, Mr. Hunt, we'll put the memo back up.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you're reading. I don't understand.
Right here.
Yeah, I think that may be just a matter of.
If I look at that, though, Mr. Hunt, that's no reason why that couldn't be a condition of the variance, that it be a condition of the variance, that they would have to show it on the site plan.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, that's a condition that could be shown on the site plan.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Is any other questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask Mr. Bissett, sir, is the present, you are changing from 9 spaces to 19 spaces. And my question is the occupancy going to change that you need more parking spaces?
Sorry, no, it has to do with the amount of spaces that are permitted in front of the building. It's not really an additional amount of parking spaces in terms of a rate, but what's allowed in front of the building. And there's an additional 5, so we're allowed 14.
Mr. Bissett, also,
we're 19 spaces, so we're 5 over what we're permitted in front of the building.
Sir, are you aware that cyclist lane is provided, and also there are comments from the transportation that in future there'll be a line going through, and your new proposal of entry and exit is close to the bus stop and is a safety matter of the pedestrian.
Yes, that was one of the first comments that we had addressed. That's why we removed that curb cut from where the bus stop was. So that curb cut's been removed. There's no additional curb cut any longer. So that has addressed that comment.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the
You're
speaker?
welcome.
There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I mean, I understand what Transport has said, and that was the updated letter. I think that the applicant has gone through whatever changes that he thought was relevant for Transport. So what I will do is I will motion to approve this application, and it will be subject to the August 17th letter and conditions that were provided by Transportation, and specifically the fact that they want some clarification on the electrical vehicle charging stations in accordance with green standards. And so that would be my motion, is to approve it with those conditions that Transportation's concerns be met.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. If someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion, Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been approved unanimously with a condition that you provide electrical vehicle, with the transportation services condition emphasized in their August 17th report, that you provide electrical vehicle charging stations and roughed-in conduits in accordance with the city's green standard. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it, folks. Can I get a motion to close? Done. Okay, thank you. Second by Mr. Hunt. Great to see you, folks.
Done.
Very nice seeing all you guys. Enjoy it till the next
We'll
time.
see you soon.
Take care.